Good evening, chosen ones. Welcome to Virtual Beelzebub TV. I am your host, Beelzebub, and welcome back to the pit. So today I thought I'd hit you with another D&D one-shot. This time for if your party has angered some sort of lord, king, wealthy individual, or well-connected underground syndicate, and a mercenary is now after them. Well, then you can use uh, Thilander the Hexblade assassin. So this Hexblade, let me pull him up for you. Boom. So this Hexblade has a magical longsword and multiple magical powers. So what he does is he teleports in front of the party in full view, makes himself known, announces his name, points his glowing red and black sword at them, and informs them that no matter where they go, no matter what they do, he will die, and it will be him that kills him. And they want the party to spread his name and let everyone know that he is going to be the one to kill them, and then he is going to disappear, just completely piss off for 24 hours. And the party goes, well, that was weird. Maybe we should ask about this guy. And if they ask ordinary civilians, the civilians, of course, will have never heard of this man. But if they find themselves in some sort of secret hush hush thieves guild or mercenary guild or any well connected person, or they just succeed on some sort of history check or whatever, they will know that Thilander is a well known assassin who's out here trying to make a name for himself, and his gimmick is letting people know that he is going to kill them and then giving them essentially like a head start to try and defend themselves so that they can pose a challenge. And the better challenge they pose, the more awesome it looks when he kills them, and thus he can make his name known wider and wider throughout the kingdom. So the party has some time to build up their defenses, buy magic items. I would really recommend doing this if they've got a lot of gold and they haven't been motivated to spend it. Now's the time to go to the magical marketplace, pick up, the plus the long swords and, what have you. Um, if they do really well, on any specific kind of either history check or they just, find the right person who gives them information, they will find out that his sword does necrotic damage. And I would recommend that one of the merchants sell armor that resists necrotic damage, but only has a one set of armor, that only fits one of the party members, which they should obviously give to the tank. Maybe make it an amulet of necrotic resistance so anyone could wear it, something along those lines. Give them the tools to prepare for this battle. And they should also be informed that he is resistant to non-magical attacks that are not adamantine or silvered. So they should have make them roll for it, make them investigate it, punish them if they don't actively pursue it. But they should have the ability to prepare for this encounter. And then at let's say midnight, after 24 hours or whatever time span you want to throw at them, he just sort of appears and he challenges one of the party members to a duel, and he activates his first ability, a sort of modification of compel duel, where if the other person agrees to a duel, they are both transported to a pocket dimension, where he will then fight them in one-on-one combat without the rest of the party being able to interfere. Now, what the party can do while this combat is going on, especially if they've got a wizard, um, is they can, if they pass an Arcana check and they have a plane shift spell or scroll, and again, this is something you'd want to give them in advance, they will have the ability to plane shift to where this duel is taking place. And again, in advance, give them the ability to purchase some scroll of plane shift or whatever, um, or some sort of mystical magical means to get to this plane, because this man, the lander, should be have player levels, player abilities, player features, and be a level or two stronger than the party member so he will require backup to defeat. So whatever method you give the party to go join their ally in combat, make it take a couple of rounds. Make them fight for it, make them roll for it. Maybe his pocket dimension is warded against plane shift, and they have to dismantle the barrier. Give them a couple of rounds to have to work to get to their friend, so you can put pressure on them to succeed in their roles while this combat is happening in the other dimension. So Thilander will draw his necrotic sword. He will charge in to whatever target. Ideally, you'll want to pit him against the paladin, fighter, barbarian, someone with a high armor class and a lot of HP, so that he doesn't actually die. It'd be pretty rude to throw him up against, like, the wizard, or, the weakest party member. That would just be rude. And I would also recommend him selecting and singling out a duel with a party member that really hasn't had a chance to shine, hasn't really had the focus put on them in a while, and or maybe they just got a cool new item and they want to show it off and they haven't had the unique circumstance to try it out. Make him target a player on purpose that benefits the party. So he's going to charge in, and it's all melee. He's got this half-plate armor, he's got a shield, necrotic sword, and wham, wham, wham. His fighting style should be pretty direct. I would make him a fighter. I would give him action surge so that he can make, and I would give, depending on the party's level, of course, I think ideally make him a high enough level so where he gets 2 attacks per action and action surge. So that way, his opening flurry, like round 1, he's doing like 4 attacks with an enchanted sword that can deal enough damage to like anywhere from like 25 to 50% of that party member's max HP at max damage, so that it's dealing a threatening amount of damage, but make sure there's no actual risk of killing them in round 1. Tally the numbers, tally their HP, the max damage of this weapon after 4 max damage attacks, and make sure that number is lower than their max HP. And obviously you can feel free to give this guy plenty of HP, that way he'll live long enough for the party to actually get there. So he is dueling with the fighter, barbarian, paladin, whoever, and just as this party member is starting to lose the fight, they've lost more than half their HP, they're bleeding, this guy doesn't even look scathed, and then all of a sudden the party crashes in through a portal or gate or scroll or whatever, and they come in to back up their friend and save his life. And with the party outnumbering one dude with a melee weapon, it's going to be a cakewalk for them to just demolish him. And if you want him to be a recurring villain, you can certainly give him a scroll of teleportation, or maybe he just knows teleportation, to yeet out of there. Or if you just want him to be a one-off character, you can kind of just have him fight to the death for his pride or his honor or whatever. Maybe he can't dispel the pocket dimension, whatever. But anyway, I just thought this was a handy little minion you could throw at your party after they pissed off someone with money and or connections. So yeah, that's all I have for you today, and I will see you next time.
Pack up your sins and go to the devil in Hades. You'll meet the finest of gentlemen and the finest of ladies. They'd rather be down below than up above. Hades is full of thousands of Joneses and Browns, Houligans, Cohens, and Brady's. You'll hear a heavenly tune, the wind of the devil, because the jazz band started picking it, put a trick in it, a jazzy kick in it. They've got a couple of old reformers in heaven, making them go to bed at 11.